No one knows the origin of this disease. America, France, China. As most countries censored news to calm the public, war was bad enough. Spain was neutral during the war and was not censoring out news of the influenza. Spain was the first to share the news of the influenza outbreak, reported 8 million, naming it the Spanish flu. Impact on World War One. Entire fleets fell ill. Men on the front were too sick to fight. The flu killed more than the weapons of war. Unknown. As the ill fleets traveled across the world, they brought with them the flu. At first, some of the Allies thought it was a biological weapon of the Germans. Others thought it was a result of the trench warfare. We later learned it was a devastating virus that would soon take the lives of 20 to 40 million people, or 5% of the population, and infect 50 to 100 million, one-fifth of the population at that time. About 50,000 Canadians, 675 Americans. From 1918 to 1919, the average lifespan depressed by 10. It affected 20 to 40-year-olds rather than younger or elderly, as a normal flu would during the influenza. Death rate for 20 to 40-year-olds was 20 times higher. Why did it spread so fast? There was virtually no response to this wave in March and April. The war was currently a bigger deal. The lack of action to prepare for an epidemic was later criticized when the second wave could not be ignored. World War I ends on November 11, 1918. The celebration includes huge parades and parties. These gatherings helped the epidemic to spread quickly, killing almost 20,000 in that month alone. The flu is extremely contagious. 4 women playing bridge together late into the night. Overnight, 3 of the women died from influenza. Life in 1918 to 1919. Individuals were expected to give up their liberty and comfort for this system. People were pulled from their work to volunteer at the hospital where they often catch the disease. Gauze masks were distributed. Funerals were limited to 15 minutes each. Businesses were losing an average of $10,000 a day. Business declined by 40 to 70%. Physicians, nurses, and doctors became ill, creating a shortage of long-term. Pregnant women who were exposed to the influenza gave birth to children who had greater medical problems. These family lines were 15% less likely to graduate high school. From the influenza of 1918, humans learned an epidemic would cost $700 billion today. If medical staff succumbs to the influenza and facilities become overwhelmed, the severity will increase. Prior planning, clean orders, and consistent advice and info should be given to the public. Use masks and vaccines, increase sanitary measures, limit crowding in public places. Quotes: obey the laws and wear the gauze. Protect your jaws from septic paws. Children's rhyme. I had a bird, her name was Enza. I opened the window, and influenza. Those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it. George Santayana. The flu had a permanent influence not on the collectivities but on the atoms of human society.